It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Orava Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Mega Berry Blasteroid. It's 8.7% ABV in a 330 milliliter can. It's a Berliner Weisse sour ale with vanilla, strawberries, blueberries and raspberries. I got a funny feeling it's going to completely blast my palate, this one. A berry blasteroid. Let's get it out then into a glass and see what we get. I want to say a massive thank you to Buddy Weisse in wonderful Finland for sending me this Finnish craft beer. Here we go then. Ho, 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 ho. Gonna drop this from a height. Look at the colour. And have a listen to that hiss and fizz. Wow. Nice levels of carbonation rolling around in the glass. The head just fizzed away very, very quickly. That gives me a really good sign. A really good indication that this beer is going to be very, very sour to drink. It's, in terms of colour, of course, it's hazy. You see the little bits of sediment in the bottom of the glass there. Micro sediment. And it looks like a glass of, yeah, what do they say? Strawberry, raspberry, blueberries, everything in this beer. I'll read it again in a moment. Let's get the aroma. Oh, wow. At 8.7% ABV, you can almost see the alcohol legs. In fact, if you look at that carbonation running down the glass there, that's the alcohol legs in the beer. That's that 8.7% ABV. Let's get the aroma. Oh, it's got a almost like Granny's fruitcake vibe about it. It's almost earthy. It's almost plum, fig, prune, like your dark fruits. You definitely get the vanilla. I think the vanilla is slightly subduing the aroma a little bit. It's vanilla. Yeah, the vanilla is slightly dominating the fruits that's in the beer, and I'm going to say, for me, that's a slight disappointment. I'd rather be having the aroma of lovely kind of blueberries and strawberries and raspberries than I would just vanilla. And it's quite, you do get the fruit, but there's a big kick of vanilla there too. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Buddy Weisse. Wow. Whoa. Woo. Wow, that's sour. The fruit is fantastic. The blueberry, the strawberry, the raspberry is fantastic. But I'm going to say right now, I've just finished reviewing their cherry licorice, I Love You Cherry Much from Orava Brewing Company. And for me, this one was 5.4% ABV. I'm going to say right now, I prefer this. It's got more of a sourness. Now, I know what's happened here. So I'm going to go back to that kind of cherry beer that I just showed you. The sourness from the Berliner Weisse style of beer and the cherry just clashed, and it was fantastic and it worked. You got lots of the cherry, you got lots of the sourness, you got some licorice. It just worked. This one, the vanilla's spoiling it. I'm sure the brewer won't mind me saying this. The vanilla is spoiling it. I don't know why they've chosen to add vanilla. It tastes synthetic. It's not synthetic. It's fruit. It's definitely fruit. I can taste the fruit. But that addition of vanilla slightly spoils it for me because it takes your mind away from the Berliner Weisse, from the sourness, from the fruit that's in the beer. In fact, it doesn't take your mind away from it. It dulls it down a bit. It dulls the sourness down. It's trying to hit that sour peak in your mind where you're like, whoa, wow, that's sour. And then it just kills it off. The vanilla comes through and just kills it a little bit. So as I'm sipping the beer, I'm breathing in. It's a technique that I learned from a few friends when we first started judging beer. I've judged for Camera and Sieber over the years. And they tell you, as you're sipping the beer, to breathe in at the same time to get that kind of ultimate experience. But as you're doing that, you're breathing in vanilla. And it just takes away from the fruit. It's like the fruit's like, it's like the fruit is trying to punch its way out of a paper bag. It's like it's there, it's fighting, you get that lovely sensation of the warming of the alcohol at 8.7% ABV, but then the vanilla, it's like the vanilla is holding the lid. It's holding the lid on the Blasteroid. They've called this a Mega Berry Blasteroid. It's like one of the burners on the rocket is not quite fired, and the rocket is kind of trying to get to space, but it can't quite make it because of the vanilla. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. It's just dulled it a bit. If you want to see the review of the I Love You Cherry Much, watch that and you'll see the facial expressions, that kind of, wow, this was so sour, this was so amazing. There's a look at it. It was such a fantastic beer. Whereas I saved this one till last. I saved this Mega Berry Blasteroid till last because it was 8.7% ABV. And I was thinking, wow, that's going to be bonkers. But it's just not worked out that way. It really hasn't. Mouthfeel, you feel that carbonation, hissing, fizzing, pushing the beer around the inside of the mouth, releasing more of that flavour. What I would say is maybe you like fruit beers. Maybe you like fruit beers, but you don't like your beers too sour. This would be for you. If you're a sour beer lover and you have a friend or a partner you go drinking with, and of course all of our tastes are slightly different. Your friend or partner, or vice versa, might be well into this cherry sour. He might be raving about it and you're sipping it thinking, it's a bit too sour for me. Because of course we're all different, aren't we? then maybe get this Mega Berry Blasteroid. Maybe this one's for you. It's not as sour. There's vanilla. It's more like a fruited beer than it is like a fruited sour beer, in my eyes. It is sour, but it's not hitting the heights from this cherry beer, from this cherry sour from Orava Brewing Company. That was just amazing for me. Not quite there. This feels like more like one of these new world modern sours, you know? I like vanilla in imperial stouts, imperial porters. It works so well. But I'm not such a fan of vanilla in beers with a lighter malt profile, like Pilsner malt or you know, your lighter kind of pale ale malts. Sometimes you see brewers putting vanilla in, like with a pale ale malt, and it just doesn't work for me. It might work for other people. As I say, it's all subjective. It's all just subjective at this stage. It might work for you. It doesn't quite work for me. I'm going to rate it. Thank you very much to Buddy Weisse for sending me the beer. Thank you so much. This is the last beer. Well, I've got a bottle of 35% spirit to do, which you sent me, which is, yeah, we'll get around to that soon. But thank you very much to Buddy Weisse for sending me the massive range of Finnish craft beers that I've reviewed in 2022. I think he sent 2 boxes so far this year. It's taken me a little bit of time to get through and review the whole lot. It's been a bit bonkers on the channel of late, but we've done it. We've got all of these beers in. They've been an absolute pleasure. They've been an absolute pleasure to review. I've just reviewed 3 sour beers from Orava Brewing Company. They've just been terrific. Absolutely terrific. Not so much of a fan of this one, which is a shame. But there we go. Let's rate it. For me, this beer had so much promise. It was called Mega Berry Blasteroid. What a name for a beer. What a name for a sour beer. It was going to blast your palate apart. Unfortunately, it didn't quite do that. The vanilla in the beer for me just dumbed everything down. It took a lot of what this beer wanted to be away. I like it enough to give it a Stone the Crows 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.